Hey there, I just wanted to do this quick video about meat and cancer because I often get asked about this, and I just wanted to set the record straight about this. So there's a couple different reasons why you might hear that you should avoid meat if you have cancer or to prevent cancer. And there's a few different reasons. So one is that meat is acidic. Okay. The other is that it can putrefy and be toxic in your gut. And the other is because of the quality of the meat, where it might be processed, for example, and not be, you know, given to you in a way that nature would have provided it in its natural state, like grass-fed, organic, etc. So I just wanted to explain these things because while there is some truth in that, right? I just gave you three reasons why it would be not that great for something like cancer. But there's unfortunately a lot of health authors over the past, 20, 30 years have demonized meat, but they haven't really given a real good context about that and have just kind of set it straight across the board. So almost every health author that you'll find in the natural health world will be always talking about how that meat is bad for you and can cause cancer, etc. Heart disease, all these different things, right? Like even diabetes, like everything, for some reason, every author wants to say to avoid it. And they don't actually give any real good evidence for why. And they don't give the bigger context. So I'm going to give you the context of all these things. So the first one was that meat is acidic. And cancer is a state of low oxygen and acidity at the cellular level. And so you would think, okay, well, then we want to eliminate meat because it's acidic. But if you understood acid alkaline balance, if you learn about it, what you'll realize is that we don't want to have, it's about our blood pH, about our pH being balanced, right? So it's not about being, we don't want to be alkaline and we don't want to be acidic. We want to be balanced. So meat is more to the side of being acidic, but so are grains, like whole grains. You're told that you should eat that, right? Nuts and seeds are more acidic as well. And these are things that people would say, oh, you should be eating to be healthy, and would never say, stop eating those things because they're acidic, that they'll cause cancer or make it worse, right? So what you should be hearing from these authors is about pH balance and eating a natural diet of whole foods and making sure that you're having some acidic factors and some alkaline factors to the degree that you're creating balance in your body. Now, sometimes at first when people are sick, they have something like cancer and autoimmune disease, they're really, really acidic. So it can benefit to do something like eating like more alkaline factors to flush these acidic factors out of the body. But it doesn't mean you have to stop eating your animal foods at the same time, right? You just have to have more vegetables. So, because it gives people this false sense of assurance, like, oh, if I just eliminate meat from my diet, that suddenly I'm going to be healthy. When if you're not adding all these alkaline vegetables, then you're not helping yourself at all, because you're now just depriving your body of the protein it needs to heal itself, right? Like if you're like, for your cells and your tissues to restore their health, they need protein because everything's built on protein. So that's the context around that. Then the next one is this putrefaction, right? These undigested animal like proteins. Now, putrefaction can happen with any kind of protein that you're not digesting well. So here's the context. If a person is eating proteins, whether it's from a vegetable or an animal, and they're not breaking that protein down, then it's going to putrefy. It doesn't matter whether it's plant or whether it's an animal product. The point is that a person's body that's doing that has an issue of low stomach acid, and it also has a microbiome issue. So these authors, instead of telling you that you should just avoid meat, they should be telling you, oh, wow, the reason that you're not digesting meat well and it's, putrefying in your body is because you need to restore your stomach acid and you need to restore your microbiome so that you can optimally digest and assimilate protein again. That's what would optimize your health and prevent disease, not avoiding meat and letting that problem just go on and continue to get worse in your body and cause other health problems, right? And then finally, it's the quality, right? The quality of the food that you put in your body. If the proteins that you're getting, whether they're from vegetables or from animals, they are, conventionally grown and raised, then it's not going to be good quality. And it's also going to come with other toxins from the environment and from the herbicides, pesticides, etc., that are not going to help you in your healing process, right? When you're healing, you need to provide more nourishment to your body, and you need to get the toxins out so your body can actually heal itself and not be impeded by this toxicity. So you want to get animal products and your vegetable products organic, and your animal products grass-fed as well, because that's going to provide you with the right nutrient ratios that make animal products healthy and how nature provides them when the animals are raised on grass, right? So those are the three things that, if you take them out of context, you could point the finger at meat and say, oh, wow, it's bad for you. But when you understand food, the food supply system, and you understand the physiology and how your body works, you'll understand that these animal proteins and the nutrients in these animal foods are actually really nutrient dense and really healthy and healing for you when you actually get the right quality and you eat them in the right amount with your alkaline vegetables, and you digest them and assimilate them well. So never settle for having to avoid a food because you have a microbiome that's out of balance and low stomach acid. Deal with that at the level of root cause so that you can digest and assimilate all foods and be healthy, right? You want to be able to have optimal microbiome and optimal stomach acid so that you can eat anything you want in moderation without suffering. I think there's one more thing I just wanted to add to this topic. What was it? Oh my goodness. There was a fourth thing that just like an overarching thing that I wanted to say regarding this. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat it. Hopefully this comes back to my mind. So we want to get that pH balance. We want to optimize our digestion so that we can assimilate proteins properly and not have them putrefy. We want to make sure that we have the right quality of the foods that are organic, natural, grass-fed. Okay, here it was. Studies, right? There's all these studies out there that people will point to and say, oh, this study pointed to such and such having people getting more cancer if they, eat this much meat versus that much meat, or if they eat meat and don't eat meat, etc. So these studies are called epidemiological studies, and they're based on like populations. And the problem with believing these studies is that, first of all, do you remember what you ate yesterday? Never mind for the past month or year or etc., right? So not very accurate at all. And also, there are so many confounding factors when it comes to creating susceptibility in somebody's body for whether they would be susceptible to cancer in the first place. So diet, lifestyle, mindset, emotions, there's so many factors. You could never point at one thing and say it's the cause of cancer, or point at one thing and say if you eliminated it from your life that you wouldn't get cancer, or if you had it in your life that it would cause cancer, right? So never believe these studies. They can be created in such a way that can be really confusing. Like sometimes they'll say things like absolute risk versus relative risk. So these are like words used in scientific studies. The fact that if you can't actually go verify these and read them or understand them, then don't put all your money on like a study that somebody tells you about, because you can't even go and determine if it's a good study anyways, right? But what the media does is it takes something and it's the relative risk of something. So let's say like you had 100 people and, one group was eating meat and the other wasn't. And in the group that was eating meat, there was, out of 100 of them, 2 of them got cancer, but in the other 100 of people not eating, only 1 person out of 100 got cancer. So then the media would take that and say that there was a double the risk of having cancer if you ate meat. But really, it was just one person extra in 100 that got it. That could be attributed to a gazillion issues. It's not double your risk. They're literally taking math and using it to sensationalize a study and create an article in the media that creates, hysteria and fear around a natural whole food that humans have been eating forever, that literally comes from nature, and demonizing it and then telling you to eat soy based GMO meat alternatives, right? It's ridiculous. It's not logical. All these things need context, right? Anyways, I hope that that helped to give you some context for why these things are said in almost every natural health resource that you could possibly read. Okay. I'm not saying that these books aren't good. They say a lot of amazing things, and I've learned so much from these authors, and I never throw the baby out with the bathwater. I never go, oh, because this person is pro-vegan and, makes these sweeping statements that they're bad and there's nothing to be learned from their books. I don't believe that at all. But it's really important to understand the bigger context of this so that you don't buy into this idea, because the most important thing is that you're eating natural whole foods the way nature intended for us to eat, as the basis. And that includes your natural grass-fed animal foods as well. All right. I hope this helped bring some clarity to the subject. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested at all in working with me around whatever health issue that's come up that's brought you to this video, I'll put a link below to my intake session package. All right. Bye-bye.